The Dodgers.
Of the Camarillo City Council to order.
Councilmember Tremblay. Here. Councilmember Morgan. Here. Councilmember Kildee.
Here.
Vice Mayor Craven.
Here.
Mayor McDonald.
Here, thank you. Mr. Kildee, would you lead us in the flag?
Absolutely.
Place your right hand over your heart. We're ready to begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Very much. I'm assuming we don't have any, but I will ask, do we have any amendments to this agenda?
You better not.
And then we have public comment would be next. I do not have any speaker sheets. Would anyone in the audience like to address the Camarillo City Council? Seeing no one come forward, we will move on to the reorganization. We'll start with the City Council, then we go to CAMSAN, then we do Community Development, and then the Library. So with that, we'll start with the City Council and turn it over to the City Clerk.
Okay, and before we begin, I'd like to review the process just so we're all on the same page. I'll open the nominations for mayor. If there are multiple nominations, we will vote on the nominations in the order they were received. If there's only one nomination, a motion to close nominations will elect the nomination on the floor. Okay, so we'll start. Are there any nominations for the office of mayor?
Yes, Jeffrey, I'd like to nominate Charlotte Craven as our mayor.
I'll move to close the nominations.
Second. You don't need a second.
No, I did the second.
You don't need it to close the nomination.
Please vote.
But you don't. You don't.
And that motion carries unanimously. We'll move on to vice mayor. Are there any nominations for the office of vice mayor?
I'd like to nominate Kevin Kildee.
Second?
Move nominations close.
Please vote. And that nomination carries unanimously. I'll turn it back over to our new mayor.
New mayor.
Well, would you please join me over there so we can make a presentation?
We've done this a couple of times, haven't we?
I think we all know. Is this on?
Yes.
Know what happened, so they didn't even have me hide it at my feet this time. It was supposed to be a surprise, you know.
Yeah, right.
But after all, you have served 4 terms as mayor, and the city has a plaque for you, which lists, not only has your gavel, but it lists all the times you've been mayor, and we'll let John take this. Thank you. That one makes us look tall.
Is it?
Thank
you very much.
You have done a very good job this year being at almost everything there was to be at. And I know you did that because very few of us got the call. And we all appreciated it because it is a very busy year, and so you represented the city well.
Well, it has been a pleasure, and it's always an honor and a privilege when you get to serve a term as mayor, and it is a busy time. You really have no more power except you get to do all the ribbon cuttings. As I say, you cut the ribbons and kiss the babies. So that's what you get to do when you're mayor. And, of course, run meetings. And I think that's the one thing, if you say what stands out, was it a 10-and-a-half-hour meeting we had? That was my claim to fame this year. But it's been a busy year, but you've all helped, and everyone makes the city run. I want to take the opportunity to thank a couple of people that we probably don't thank often enough, and that's the staff of the city manager's office, Jill and Kathy and Roger, and then the city clerk's office. Those are the ones that get the mayor where they're supposed to be at the right meeting at the right time and cutting the right ribbon, and so they really do deserve a great deal of thanks. So thank you all for a good year, and look forward to yours. And this will be your... Sixth? Seventh. Oh, my gosh. Well, congratulations and good luck.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Your Honor, could I ask a favor real quick? Because we've been receiving communications about the fires and everything from Mr. Norman. And I want to tell him I appreciate that because it really keeps us abreast of what's going on. Thank you.
And if I might take one more privilege, too, and I meant to do it in my remarks, is thanking staff for that. But we all need to thank our first responders. We do it all the time, but when you see them in action and what they have gone through, our fire department, our police, our sheriff's department, what they do every day, and then to watch them in a time like this when we've got 5 major fires going in Southern California. And our hearts go out to everyone who's lost property and their homes. But thank God, so far, no loss of lives. And that is, again, attributed to good citizens, but also our first responders who are there taking care of everyone. So my last duty as outgoing mayor is to take the opportunity to really thank them all from the bottom of our hearts for taking care of us.
I'd like to thank staff for their diligence in keeping us updated, too, in the last few days. We've been fortunate not to have had any major problems such as they have in other cities, but I know the winds create a lot of hazards and a lot of problems, and our staff has really been up on that, and so thank you. And I'd like to recognize our police chief, Murray, who did lose his home in a fire in another city, and I think all of our hearts go out to him at this time. I'd like to thank the council on a different note for your confidence in me by selecting me to be the mayor for the upcoming year. And Stan, wherever you are up there, you knew your record wouldn't hold for long, didn't you? Stan always was so proud that he was mayor longer than anybody else at six terms. So I'm thrilled to have been the one to have surpassed him first.
Probably be it.
We had a good rivalry, Stan and I. I look forward to leading the council in meetings in the upcoming year, to working with staff, and I know that Trevor and I look forward to a whole lot of ribbon cuttings.
He is.
I'd also like to thank my family in advance for all the extra help they're going to be giving me this coming year and all the things I'll be missing because it does take a lot of time to be mayor. And so my husband Mike, my daughter Jessica and her husband David, my son Mitch and his wife Jenny, and my grandson Trevor all pitch in and help, and so I thank you very much. And the final thing I'd like to say in my comments is today's paper had an obituary for Roy Nichols.
Yes.
Roy Nichols was very active in both the Veterans of Foreign Wars and the American Legion here in town for many years. And he and his wife Eileen are the two people who led the effort to raise money to design and to build the Veterans Memorial on the corner in Constitution Park. It wouldn't be there if it weren't for Roy and Eileen. And I would like to ask the council when we close, if we could close in Roy's memory.
Absolutely.
I have a question, Your Honor. I'm going to attend the funeral, but if three of us are attending the funeral, does that,
You're good. That's not a problem.
okay, good.
There's Commander.
Okay. So, I know that was on the back of my agenda. Is there any other business to come before us? This meeting of the City Council, sorry, is adjourned.
All right, get the big one here. All right. Okay, I'd like to call the Camarillo Sanitary District regular meeting for December 6th to order, please. And let the record reflect that all directors are present. I'm going to ask this, are there any amendments to this agenda? Okay, no amendments. Public comments, any public comments for the Sand District? All right, so nobody's coming forward. We'll go down to item 3. It's the reorganization of the Camarillo Sanitary District Board. We'll accept nominations for the position of chairman and also nominations for the position of secretary. So with that, I will give it to Ms. Madeline. Would you like to take over, please?
So are there any nominations for the office of chairman?
I'd like to nominate Tony Tremblay.
Second.
Is there a
Move
motion?
nominations close.
And second?
Second.
Please vote. And that carries unanimously. Are there any nominations for the office of secretary?
I nominate Jan McDonald.
I'll second the nomination.
Is there a motion to close nominations?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Please vote.
We'll get this down before we're done.
Yeah, you don't have to have a second.
And that motion carries unanimously.
Objection. Then you have to vote.
Okay, so does my esteemed colleague close this, or do I close it, or how would we want to do this?
Our new chairman close it.
Okay, Mr. Chairman.
We'll close this. Thank you, Mr. Prior Chairman. We'll close this meeting of the Camarillo Sanitary District.
There you go.
And that brings us to the CDC, and that's
That's me.
Chairman Morgan.
Yes. So we'll open the meeting of the CDC. We don't do much, we don't do many activities during the year. I even forget how to open this thing. But I'd like to now open nominations for the position of chairman.
Are there any nominations for the position of chairman?
Well, Mike, since you've done such a great job, I'm going to nominate that you
I don't even want to,
chair again.
no.
I'll move nominations close.
Is there a second?
Second.
Please vote. And that motion carries unanimously. Are there any nominations for the office of vice chairman?
I will nominate Jan McDonald for that, too.
You fight
Second.
everything.
Motion to close?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, please vote. And that motion carries unanimously.
You're still chair, you have to adjourn this.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
you didn't get off the hook.
It's been so long since I've done this thing.
It was a year.
If there ain't no objections, we'll close the meeting.
Who's the library?
And that brings us to the library board.
Call this meeting of the Library Board to order. I'll resist from asking for a roll call vote. And I'm not aware of any amendments to the agenda or any public comments. Hearing none, we will do the reorganization of the Camarillo Library Board. And I assume there are no procedural rules that are different.
Nope, same thing. So are there any nominations for the office of president?
I nominate Mike Morgan.
Second.
Is there a motion to close?
Close.
And a second?
Second.
Please vote. And that motion carries unanimously. Are there any nominations for the office of president pro tem?
I move President Kildee, Pro Tem, Mr. Kildee.
Any
Sec-
other nominations or a motion to close?
Move to close nominations.
And a second?
Second.
Please vote. And that motion carries unanimously.
All right.
That's the end of that.
Chair, I think you need to adjourn.
Oh, I am the new chair. Jesus. Okay. Any other comments before we adjourn this evening? Seeing none, we'll adjourn. We'll close.
All right. Thanks up for the 2.5 hour one.
You didn't really want a 10 and a half. You didn't really want a 10 and a half hour.
No, it's an except for.